He added a shiny new key to his ring and called the rest of the mail junk. The mailbox clicked at the curb, a small metal bite that sounded louder than usual. He tucked the envelopes under his arm and came in like nothing had changed. I stood by the door with a grocery bag and watched that new silver key flash once in the evening light. He had always used the old brass one that sticks when it rains. Now there was a smooth turn and a clean click. "Nothing good," he said. "Just junk." He kissed my cheek and moved past the little table where we sort things. The envelopes stayed under his arm. He took them down the hall. The hallway light blinked on, went dark, and he came back with empty hands. I set the groceries on the counter. The paper bag sighed. I pulled out milk, bread, a lemon tea. The kettle felt cool in my palm. I put it on the burner and turned the knob. The blue ring rose and held steady. "You switched the key?" I asked. "They gave me a spare at the office," he said. "Box was sticky. This one works better." I said. I was writing a note in my head and did not want it to sound like a charge. He pulled a chair and sat. His shoulders looked tired in the kind of way a person gets when they think of something else while you look right at them. "Don't worry about the mailbox," he said. "I'll get it from now on. Saves you a trip." "I don't mind the walk," I said. He shrugged. "It's nothing. Junk mail and flyers. I'll toss it." The kettle began to hum. I set 2 cups on the counter. I cut a thin slice of lemon for mine and rested it on the saucer. He watched the window the way you watch a silent TV. I decided to look, not argue. After dinner, he went out to the garage to check the filter. The door clicked shut. I wiped the table, dried my hands, and took my phone off the charger. I opened the USPS app and signed in. The dashboard shows pictures of letter-sized mail expected for my address. Small grayscale images, company names in the upper left, a faint blur over names. The date sits above the stack like a caption. 3 previews for today. The first line read, "Mail piece from statewide medical due today." The envelope had the clinic name clear in the corner. The second line, "Pre-approved offer, Cardline Bank." The third was a window envelope with a bold bar across the top. "Final notice." I pinched to zoom. The return address was our power company. The name line was grayed out by the scan, but the words "Final Notice" sat heavy and black. I took a screenshot with the time visible at the top. 5:12 p.m. I saved it. I tapped the clinic envelope and saved that too. 1:18 showed faint near the window. One more tap for the pre-approved image. Saved. I scrolled back one day. Another clinic letter. Saved. I scrolled again. A change of address confirmation was listed 2 days ago. The preview line said, "We received a request to change your address." I took a screenshot of that and felt my pulse jump once, then settle. The garage door opened. He stepped back in, dusted his hands on his jeans, and smiled like a person who wants to keep a room soft. "Filter's fine," he said. "You make the good tea?" "I did," I said. I set his cup in front of him. "Lemon?" He shook his head. "You take the lemon. I'll take the sugar I'm not supposed to have." I sipped mine. "New key turns easy?" I asked. He nodded. "Like butter." "What did they do with the old one?" He rubbed his jaw and looked past me at nothing. "Still around," he said. "Probably." He set his cup down and drummed his fingers once. "Seriously, I've got mail. You don't need more junk in your day." I set my phone face down and took one more slow breath. "All right," I said. "Thank you." We cleaned up. The house got quiet. He watched a game. I sat with a book and didn't turn the page. In the morning, he left early. The silver key flashed again at the door. "I'll grab mail after work," he said, light as air. After he left, I put my wallet and a blue folder in my bag and drove to the main post office. It smelled like paper and a clean floor. People stood in 2 lines that moved. A clerk called next. Her name tag said Beth in block letters. She had the kind of kind eyes that help when you don't want to sound like you're making a scene. "Hi," I said. "I want to confirm there's no hold or change of address on my home." "I can show you my ID." "Of course," she said. I slid my license under the glass. She typed. "No active hold," she said. "No change of address, complete or pending." I saw a preview that looked like a change letter, I said. I wanted to be sure. "Sometimes people start a change online and quit before the end," she said. "The letter can still generate, but it won't take effect. If you want, I can put a note here to alert you if anything is filed." "Please," I said. She wrote a station number on a sticky note and pushed it through the slot. "Ask for me or for Tim," she said. "If something odd pops up." She smiled without making a grin out of it. "Thank you, Beth," I said. On the way home, I printed the dashboard previews at the copy shop. The clerk didn't look at the pages. I clipped final notice, the clinic envelope, the pre-approval, and the change letter. I also printed the USPS tracking page for a package due to him from a parts place he likes. I added a simple budget page I had made last month. Mortgage, utilities, food, meds, gas, with small numbers in pencil. I printed last month's bank statement first page with no account numbers shown. Only the line, utilities, paid 96 cents. I put the stack in the blue folder and wrote with a pen on the tab, mail. At lunch, he sent a picture of a sandwich the size of his hand. Fuel, he wrote. I sent a knife and fork emoji because that is how we joke when we cannot say more. At 2, he texted, "What do you want for dinner?" I wrote, "Pasta, 5. He sent a thumbs. At 4:30, I heard the metal bite at the curb. The front door opened. He came in with a brown box and 2 glossy flyers. He set the flyers on the counter and the box on the chair. "Parts here," he said. "I'll put it in after we eat." "Anything else?" I asked. "Nothing you need," he said, with a half smile that would have worked on me a year ago. He went down the hall with the flyers. I listened for the drawer. I heard a small slide, then nothing. He came back with clean hands. We ate. We talked about highway work and a man who waved someone into a lane and did not get cursed for once. After dinner, I set the blue folder on the table. "What's that?" he asked. "Mail," I said. I opened it, and the plan that keeps it from owning us. He laughed a small, sharp laugh. "What is this?" he said. "Some spy thing?" "Informed Delivery," I said. "It shows pictures of letter mail expected today. These arrived or were due." I slid the first page, the final notice. "Power," I said. Bold words. He didn't touch the paper. "I paid that," he said. He reached for his cup and didn't drink. I slid the clinic page. "2 from the clinic," I said. "We have no clinic payment on last month's bank page." I slid the pre-approval. "Cardline offer." I slid the change of address preview. "This letter says someone tried to change our address." He sat back. "Scam," he said. "Ads and scare stuff." Beth checked, I said. I put the sticky with her name on the printouts. No hold, no change. No pending. If something appears, we call her or Tim. I tapped the sticky once with my nail. The small sound steadied me. He looked at the papers. His jaw worked. He set his hands flat on the table like a person asking a floor to hold. "I'll get the mail from now on," he said. "You don't need the noise." "Or," I said, "we can name what the noise is. New key, new interest in junk, new pieces I'm not seeing. I'm not mad. I'm looking." He met my eyes then. It took a second. "Looking," he said. The word felt like something he could carry. He exhaled. His shoulders dropped half an inch. "Okay, ask me what you need to ask." "What is the clinic bill?" I said. "1 sentence. Blood work," he said. I didn't want to make a thing. "It's fine." His voice thinned. "I should have told you." "What is the final notice?" I said. 1 sentence. "A store card," he said low. I opened it on a deal to save 10% and forgot to pay. Then I got embarrassed and hid it. Then I kept hiding it because I was already hiding it. "What about the change of address letter?" I asked. "I started a P.O. box," he said, barely above a whisper, "so the offers would stop coming to the house. I got the box renewal notice and ignored it too. I started a change online and quit. I didn't want you to see more junk and ask." "That is 3 different kinds of hiding," I said. I kept my tone even. I didn't push the word. None of them helped the light pay the bill. He made a sound that could have been a laugh or a breath. "No," he said. "They do not." He pulled a small silver key from his pocket and set it between us. He stood, went to the hall drawer, and brought back the brass key I thought he had lost. He put it beside the silver one. The 2 keys looked like 2 notes on a line, ready to make a chord when someone touched them. "I don't want to hide," he said. "I hate that I did. I felt small. I made you blind. I'm sorry." "Thank you," I said. I brought a pen and a blank page. "We are going to make 5 lines. Simple, real. We can put it in a folder and in the cloud and on the fridge if we have to." He nodded. "Tell me." "Shared mailbox access," I said. "Both keys hang on the hook by the door." He wrote it. No mail holds without both OKs, he wrote. No change of address without both OKs, he wrote again. Bills live in one place. Paper folder on the shelf labeled Mail and Bills, Weekly, and a cloud folder with the same name. He wrote that slowly. Weekly mail check, Saturday, both present, 10 minutes, even if we're busy, he wrote. Card payoff plan, call tomorrow. Request late fee waiver, bring account current. Set autopay for full statement, then close card or keep with autopay to 0 each month. He wrote, underlined autopay and underlined both OKs. We added a simple budget at the bottom: mortgage, utilities, food, meds, gas, debt. We wrote small numbers next to each in pencil. We kept the lines short. We did not add speeches. The next morning we walked to the mailbox together. The silver key turned easy. He handed it to me without a show. You open, he said. The hinge breathed. Inside lay a cardline envelope and a clinic window letter. We brought them in like two people carrying a chair. We masked the account numbers with sticky notes and left the amounts visible. $274, past due $54. $118, due now. We took a photo of the two bills laid out. We did not share it with anyone. We put the image in the cloud folder and the paper in the blue folder, a woman named Renee answered. He said, I made a mistake. Can you help me fix it? She said, yes. He asked for a one-time late fee waiver. She granted it. He asked to set autopay. She walked him through it. Full statement, she said. 5th of each month. He repeated it and read the confirmation number. I wrote the number on the plan. Thank you, he told her. She said, of course, like it was a normal thing to help a person who had stopped hiding. We paid the clinic online. The page said, 118, paid, confirmation 10:14 a.m. We printed the page and clipped it behind the plan. We drove to the main post office. Beth was there. He said, I need to close a P.O. box. She said, we can do that, and did. She slid a receipt under the glass. He tucked it in his wallet, then handed it to me. Put this where you put proof, he said. The folder. The cloud. At home we hung both keys on the hook. He made 2 little labels with the old label maker and stuck them to the key heads. Box, brass. Box, silver. He pressed them down with his thumb until the adhesive warmed and stayed. We took a photo of the keys on the hook. It felt like a picture of a small, honest thing. I made the cloud folder and named it Mail and Bills, Weekly. I shared it to his email. I slid the paper plan into the blue folder and put it on the pantry shelf where we keep the recipes. I opened the calendar on both our phones and added an event. Saturday mail check, both present. It repeated every week at 10 a.m. He accepted the invite and bumped my shoulder with his. At noon, he sent a test text from the living room. No holds without both OKs. I replied, agreed. He sent a second line. Sorry I turned real mail into fake junk. I sent, thank you for giving me the key. He walked in and kissed the top of my head and said nothing else. Some apologies are quiet. They land better that way. The dashboard email came that evening. Mail piece from Cardline arrives tomorrow. We did not panic. We put the kettle on. We put the plan under my palm. The house hummed its patient sound. Peace is not a show. It is 2 names on a page and 2 keys on a hook. A week passed. The dashboard showed bank envelope, county notice, magazine, ad. We did the Saturday check. We opened the box together. We set 10 minutes and it took 4. We threw out the ad. We put the magazine on the table. We filed the bank envelope unopened because it was a statement and we see those online. We put the county notice on the fridge with a magnet shaped like a lemon. We wrote pay by 31 on the corner and circled it. We went on with our day. The next week the dashboard showed statement. We let autopay do its job. The 5th came. The bank showed paid. We noted it in pencil on the plan. Autopay posted. He made a small star next to it, like a child who liked the teacher's sticker. It made us both smile in a way I didn't expect. One afternoon he stood by the hook and reached for the silver key, then stopped and picked up the brass out of habit. He looked at me. You like old things, he said again, but this time it sounded like a promise, not a jab. He took the brass outside. The hinge breathed. The box did not bite. He brought in a dentist reminder and a flyer for a discount gym. "Junk," he said, then caught himself. "Not today," he corrected. "Not for us." We added one more line to the plan in pencil. "Language, call things what they are," we laughed. It felt right that a plan can hold a joke that is not sharp. I kept the blue folder tidy. I added the post office receipt for the closed box. I added the printout that showed the hold COA status screen from Beth's terminal that day, which had the time in the top corner and the line, "No active holds." I added a photo of the key hook. I added the simple budget page with the small, real numbers. I taped a printed label to the paper folder and matched it to the cloud folder. Mail and bills, weekly. We slipped. People do. One Friday he said, "I'll get the mail tomorrow." And I said, "Both present." And he said, "Right." And we both smiled and put it under the rule instead of under the rug. Another day, a glossy envelope looked like a bill. I set it on the plan. We checked the dashboard together. It was an offer. We recycled it. We noted nothing. We did not turn it into a story. He started one softening step on his own. He opened the bank app and set alerts for low balance and large charges. He showed me the screen and the small green switch. "This is not for you to babysit me," he said. "It is so I can keep the promise I wrote." I kissed his cheek. "I like the switch," I said. He sent a short text after his first on-time auto-pay. "Paid," it said, and then a second line. "Thank you for handling this with kindness." I did not write a speech back. "You're welcome," I wrote. Saturday at 10. He sent a thumbs. The dashboard kept doing its simple job. Informed Delivery shows images of letter mail expected today. The little preview lines read, "Mail piece from arrives today." Some days there were none. Some days there were 4. I stopped checking it at night. I checked in the afternoon with tea and good light. It helped me keep the mail in its box even when it lived on my phone. We went back to the post office once more to say hello to Beth and to hand in a small form that confirmed in writing what her screen had said. No holds. No changes, no forwarding. She stamped it with the round date and wrote "all clear" in the corner with a smile I knew was for my nerves, not the paper. We wrote "Beth, Main Station," helpful, on the back of the sticky and left it in the folder like a tiny thank you. We added one more line to the plan because it felt right. If a clinic bill comes, we put it on the table and one of us reads the amount out loud. It kept us from letting a faint gray number hide behind a window. On the first Saturday of the next month, we turned the keys, sorted the pile, and then sat for 5 extra minutes. I wrote a small note for next steps. Out of pocket this month, $180 clinic, plus $54, past due now cleared. Auto pay set, no holds, box closed. Next, review numbers in 1 month and adjust budget lines if needed. He nodded. "We can do that," he said. "I like that the plan feels like a small thing, not a wall." "It is a hook," I said. "For heavy bags," he laughed. "You and your hooks." 2 keys on 1 hook, I said, and looked at the door. He followed my eyes and smiled. We did not post anything about this. We did not tell friends. We did not make jokes about junk mail to people who would laugh and then forget. We built a quiet habit. We did it on purpose. We did it without a show. One afternoon, a neighbor waved from her stoop and said, "Do you ever use that USPS thing?" "The email with the pictures?" I said, "Yes." "Does it work?" she asked. "It does," I said. "It shows what letter mail is due. It's good for catching a bill or a card before it flies under a chair." She nodded like someone who would try it. We did not share more. We protected our little circle. We kept names off paper that did not need them. The mailbox stopped sounding like a bite. It became a hinge and a small breath. He stopped rushing to it. I stopped bracing when I heard the click. We opened it together more often than not. On days when one of us was late, the other snapped a picture of the pile on the table and sent it with a single line. "On the plan," or "Nothing today," or "Clinic next to kettle." No heat. No worry, just a quiet handoff. The silver key and the brass key learned to share the hook. Sometimes he took one. Sometimes I took the other. Sometimes they both stayed put because the dashboard said, "No letter mail today," and we believed it. The plan sat in the blue folder, and the blue folder sat on the shelf, and the shelf held it, and the house held us. He switched the key. My dashboard switched the story. The rest of the house stayed itself. The kettle hissed, then softened. The budget page lived by the stove with a pencil on its clip. The informed delivery email pinged in the morning now, not at night, because I changed the alert time. The mailbox waited for a hand that did not shake. 2 keys, 1 hook, 1 plan. One small life that did not need drama to be true. The tea steamed. The room breathed. And the door to the hall stayed open like a promise that nothing would be carried down it in secret again. Sunday morning, the dashboard showed 5 little rectangles stacked like bread. I sat at the table with the blue folder open and the kettle warming. He came in from the yard with wet grass on his shoes and leaned over my shoulder. We read the preview lines together. Mail piece from County Treasurer arrives. Today. Mail piece from Card Line arrives. Today. Mail piece from Statewide Medical arrives. Today. Mail piece from Bankline Services arrives. Today. Add tires. I tapped each and zoomed. We didn't panic. We named them. County Treasurer is the tax reminder, I said. Due end of month. We planned for it, he nodded. The statement auto pay will catch. Clinic is a receipt, I said, hoping I was right. Or another copy of the same. Bankline is the bank, he said. Statement or privacy notice, he poured water. The kettle hissed, then softened. We wrote a tiny list on a sticky and stuck it to the plan. County, Card Line, Clinic, Bankline, tires add to recycle. He opened the cupboard and took down 2 cups without looking. Habit is its own piece. At the curb, the hinge breathed. The brass key turned. The box held exactly what the dashboard had shown. He gave me the county envelope. I gave him the bank one. We set the clinic and card side by side. We put the ad straight into recycling. I took a photo of the 4 real envelopes laid on the wood, addresses out of frame, amounts masked where they showed through. I slipped the photo into the cloud folder. Receipts over rants. We do it gently, or we do not do it. We paid the county bill online. 74 this quarter. I wrote paid on the sticky. He opened the bank envelope and scanned the statement with his eyes, not just his mood. No surprises, he said. The card auto pay shows scheduled. The clinic payment shows posted. He tapped the paper with his finger like you pat a dog. It's all there. I slid the clinic envelope open with the butter knife that always sits in the drawer. It was a receipt. $118 received. Thank you. We smiled at that thank you like it was more than ink. Sometimes it is. Monday, I changed the informed delivery email time to 9 a.m. In settings, it is 1 line. Email digest, mornings. I picked that so the ping would not land at night. Night magnifies. Morning sorts. Wednesday, I tried our rule on a hard day. A change of address validation preview appeared again. I felt my throat tighten. I did not text him at work. I tapped the 3 dots, saved the screenshot with the time at the top, and drove to the post office after lunch. Beth was on break. Tim was at the counter. He had the kind of steady hands that make people trust a scale. Hi, I said. Can you check if a change is pending? He checked ID, he typed. No pending change, he said. But I see a web attempt that didn't finish. It won't take effect. He pointed to a line of gray text on his screen and read it aloud. Incomplete. No confirmation code. He wrote the date, time, station number, and his first name on a sticky and slid it through. If you get a letter, it's just the system trying to be helpful. Thank you, Tim, I said. I put the sticky in the folder and walked to the car lighter by 1 ounce, which is how much a sticky note weighs when it carries a simple fact. That night, I set the sticky next to Beth's sticky. 2 names, 2 notes, 1 plan. He looked at them and smiled. We could start a cookbook, he said. Recipes for calm, I laughed. First line, I said. Boil water, breathe. Thursday evening, he handed me his phone. Autopay ran, he said. The bank app showed card line paid. He had not only said it, he had watched it. I set an alert one day before too, he said. So if it ever fails, I can fix it before it says final. Friday, I added a new folder tab in the blue binder. Utilities, it read. Behind it, I placed the power company's final notice screenshot, now resolved, and the next normal monthly statement after autopay. I masked our numbers with a sticky. I put a tiny pencil note in the margin. This is what almost became big. Saturday, our weekly check took 6 minutes. We opened the box together. We sorted at the table. We set aside an insurance leaflet. We dropped an ad. We filed one bank envelope and one union newsletter. We drank tea. He went out to the garage with the parts box and whistled a tune I hadn't heard in months. A small storm returned a week later. A glossy pre-approval came with his name in big letters. "You're invited," it said. He frowned. "They always say that," he said. "Like debt is a party." He held the offer over the bin, paused, then set it on the plan. "Let's not rush," he said. "Teach me the line again." "The line is simple," I said. "If it is not part of our plan and it costs us more peace than it buys, we say no." I took a photo of the envelope with the issuer name visible and the details hidden. I put the photo in the cloud folder under a new little subhead, "Offers Declined." We recycled the paper. He exhaled. "I want a stack of those," he said. Proof that we didn't jump. 2 days after that, a P.O. Box refund check arrived for the unused months. 1843, he smiled like a boy at a fair. "Coffee money," he said. We took a photo of the check face down so the numbers were hidden and placed the image in the folder. We deposited it and wrote "Applied to Power" in the budget margin. "Small coming back to the light bill," he said. "Feels right." He cut a short apology text to me one night when I was brushing my teeth. It buzzed on the counter next to the sink. "I treated you like a guard instead of a partner. I'm sorry." I typed with my thumb and toothpaste on my lip. "We both hold the door," I wrote. He came to the doorway and leaned on it, soft. "Thank you," he said. No other words. That was enough. We wrote a rule for holds in bigger letters and taped it inside the cupboard above the kettle so guests couldn't see it, but we would. "No hold mail request without both okays," it said. A hold pauses delivery for the dates you pick. Under it, a second line. "No change of address without both okays. A change forwards mail to a new place." Simple sentences. Full stop. We used a piece of masking tape and a pen. Fancy fails. Tape holds. Next Saturday, we added a new small step. "Quick budget glance," it read on the calendar copy. 5 lines. Mortgage, utilities, food, meds, gas. We compared the pencil numbers to the bank. We rewrote 2 lines down by $10 because we had underspent. We wrote "Clinic 0 now" in the margin and underlined it once. We did not cheer. We smiled the kind of smile you feel in your shoulders. A neighbor brought up a package on her walk one afternoon. "USPS left this at the wrong stoop," she said. It had our address on the label and his name. I pulled up the tracking page on my phone and showed her the screen. "Expected today," I said. The tracking page is 1 line. It shows the dates and where a box is. "This one is his," I said. "Thank you." She asked, "What's that email that shows letters?" "Do you like it?" "It's called Informed Delivery," I said. "It shows images of letter mail expected that day." She nodded. "Smart," she said, and waved. We did not say more. We kept our circle small and kind. He had one backslide. The old habit grows again when a person is tired. He came in late, grabbed the mail and said, "All junk," and put the stack by the toolbox. I didn't correct him. I set a timer for 10 minutes and made tea. When the timer chimed, I carried the blue folder to the garage and set it on the workbench. "Saturday," I said. I didn't say please. I didn't add words. He looked at the folder, at me, at the stack. "Right," he said. He wiped his hands and came inside. We opened the pile. 2 ads. 1 county flyer, 1 little white envelope with a clinic logo that turned out to be a survey. We recycled it. He put his hand on the plan and tapped twice. "Thanks," he said. He meant more than the stack. I added 1 quiet guardrail for me. I pinned a small message at the top of our shared cloud folder. "We keep talk kind. If not, we pause." It was for us, not the world. It was the same line I use in rooms that have people who forget. Sometimes I am one of those people. A month in, we sat at the table with the blue folder open and did a simple review. "What worked?" I asked. "Keys on hook," he said. "Morning email, not night." "Saturday check, both present," I said. "Autopay," he said. "Cloud folder," I said. "The word junk retired," he added, and we both laughed. We wrote those 5 as a list and clipped it to the front of the plan like a cover page made by 2 hands. We added what happens next. "Shared access continues," I wrote. "Weekly check stays. Payment plan holds until balance is 0. Then auto pay remains to avoid repeats. Any future clinic bill read out loud at the table same day. No holds or changes without both okays. If a letter looks strange, we call Beth or Tim. Budget gets 5 minutes each Saturday. If one of us travels, we do a video check at 10. He read the lines and nodded after each. It looks like the kind of list you can do on a tired day, he said. That's the test, I said. Tired days still count. We labeled the key hook with a little card. Mail both, it read. He slid the card into the top of the frame with a smile like he'd done a magic trick. We're official now, he said. We were official when we boiled water, I said. The dashboard kept its promise. It showed what was coming. We didn't obsess. We used it like weather. Umbrella or no umbrella. Stamps or no stamps. If we were out and the email came, one of us texted the other. 2 letters, or nothing, or county, or smile, magazine. No heat. Just the words. One evening, a big white envelope preview appeared with insurance in the corner. My stomach flicked. I saved the screenshot with the time. We waited. The hinge breathed. The box gave the envelope to our hands. Inside was a policy update that changed nothing. We filed it. He wrote a line on the plan. Insurance, no action. It was the kind of line I wish I had written in other decades of my life about other storms. We got a little better at soft talk. When he said, I'll get the mail, I said, let's. When I said, I'll file this, he said, I'll carry the folder. When one of us reached for the keys, the other reached for the kettle. It turned into a small dance you don't think about. You just step. On the second month's first Saturday, we added a tiny thank you ritual. We looked at the plan and picked one line to say out loud. That morning he said, thank you for no holds without both okays. I said, thank you for handing me the key. We did not do more. Small thanks feed long rules. We penciled modest numbers on the budget page and erased 2 lines with an unbothered finger. Groceries were up, he said. Heat was down. We didn't add a speech about inflation or weather. We left notes for future whip. Expect higher heat in winter, he wrote. Buy beans and smile, I wrote. We both laughed. A text from Beth arrived on a weekday afternoon. Heads up, new clerk this week, Nina. She knows your note. It made me feel known in a clean way, the kind that helps when you hate asking the same question in a new room. I replied, thank you, Beth. I wrote Nina Main Station on a sticky and put it next to Beth and Tim. 3 names now. 3 steady points for a small ship. He trimmed the label on the key hook so it sat neater. He wiped the little shelf where we keep the blue folder and put a coaster under the kettle so the steam wouldn't curl the paper above. He set a pencil in the dish by the folder because he knows I like pencil more than pen when numbers might change. We kept the rules inside the house. We didn't tell the story for applause. We turned the keys. We printed what mattered. We recycled what didn't. We drank tea while the dashboard did its quiet job. One night he came home with rain on his jacket and a look that said the world had pushed. He opened the mailbox without me, came in, and set the pile on the table with more sound than a pile needs. He stood a second and then said, sorry, before I could say anything. Rough day, he said. Let's do the plan. We did. The pile had 2 ads, 1 bank notice, and a flyer from the clinic about a flu shot. No bills, no final anythings. He laughed at himself. My head used to sprint when I heard the hinge, he said. Mine too, I said. Now it walks. He sent one more softening step a week later. A calendar invite hit my phone. Saturday mail check, both present every week. It was the same as mine. He had created his own, not just accepted mine. He had added the note, tea after. I smiled at after. He knows a reward keeps a rule company. We had one last shadow. In the 3rd month, a verification for mail forwarding postcard preview appeared. The line under it said, to current resident. It was the generic kind, not tied to a name. Still, my chest tightened. I took a screenshot with the time and brought it to the counter. Nina checked. These go out in batches to remind people to use the website, she said. No forwarding on file for your address or name. She wrote her name, date, time, and no activity on a sticky and slid it through. I put it in the folder. He read the note and smiled. We have a stack of helpers now, he said. Beth, Tim, Nina. And us, I said. We shared the keys. We shared the rule. We shared the peace. A cold Saturday felt bright, and the mailbox felt like a friend. We wore jackets, turned the brass key, and found one envelope. Important, account update. At the table it read, "No action needed." He wrote, "Filed, no action" on a sticky and smiled. That afternoon we taped our What Happens Next page inside the cupboard, shared access. Both keys on the mail, both hook. Saturday 10-minute checks, both present. No holds or change of address without both okays. Strange letters checked against the dashboard, then Beth, Tim, Nina if needed. Bills live in the blue folder and cloud folder, mail and bills weekly. Cardline autopay stays and prevents repeats. Clinic, county, power read aloud. 5-minute budget glance each Saturday. Video check if traveling. Call things what they are. We signed it. Tape, not glue. Rules can change but shouldn't slip in rain. That night he texted, "Thanks for writing this." I answered, "Thanks for switching the story." He added, "I love you." The kettle breathed. December brought a neighbor's card and calm tea, not spreadsheets. By year's end, county paid, power on autopay, guitar strings opened with a grin. Keys returned to the hook. We kept screenshots private, masked numbers, and thanked Beth when a stray hold was cleared. A year later, our summary ended. We are not afraid of the hinge. 2 keys. 1 hook, warm tea, steady peace.